right. Thank you. Happy Thursday nights. I was tripping up here. But I just want to start by telling a little bit about myself. So, you may think that I look like I'm in finance or accounting, but that's because I am. And I wear how I look, like the shirt, the glasses, everything. I look like I could be an extra for the set of The Big Bang Theory. And, like one of those side nerd characters that they meet at Comic-Con, and he's just making jokes like way too enthusiastically about how big his wand is. But yeah, growing up, this was, a lot of people have phases growing up, but I've had this one phase my whole life, being a nerdy white guy. And, so, anything other than like math or studying, I was always kind of like overlooked, or people think I'd be unassuming. So like when I would play sports growing up, I would always be the kid that got the most improved player award. And I wasn't bad, right? Everyone would just be surprised. They'd be like, wow, look how good nerdy little math is. And in my head growing up, it always just kind of reminded me of the look on Lieutenant Dan's face when he realizes how good Forrest Gump is at ping pong. So, yeah, that's my stereotype, if you will. And it is true, right? When I was in third grade, I did win a math competition against all the other third graders. But, that is my stereotype, but it's not totally, it doesn't tell the whole story, right? Like nobody's does. As an example, I'm actually really good at sports. Like, I play college soccer. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm actually a really good dancer. Or at least I feel that way when I'm at a concert and on ecstasy. Yeah, stereotypes always get like a bad rap. People are like, no, don't limit this person, put them in a little box. But, stereotypes actually can be a good thing. Because, when you first meet someone, say it's like 2, 5, 10 minutes to talk to them, you only know a little bit of information. But then you just have to fill in the entire rest of their personality just with like assumptions, right, or preconceived notions. So if you have like a positive interaction with someone, you just imagine the entire rest of their personality is positive. Like my roommate, he recently started dating this girl, and I was talking to her, and she was like, one thing I really like about him is he plays the banjo. And in my head I'm thinking, he has a banjo in his room, and I know for a fact he's never played the banjo. And on the flip side, right, we had negative interactions, like that guy in the elevator, he kind of has some BO, got cilantro in his teeth, you're just like, man, this guy's probably one of those people that chews his mouth open, super loud, has absolutely no friends because they can't stand eating next to him. But, yeah, but just imagine if you could not stereotype anyone. Right, so like, I went to this networking event a few weeks ago, and I was talking to this guy for a few minutes. I was like, Jim, I know we've been talking a little bit, but I only got a little bit of time to get to know you, and I can't stereotype you, so I really need to make sure it's a good business connection. So I need to ask you some questions. What is one of your childhood traumas you haven't gotten over? I'm like, And do you hate your parents? But most importantly, what do you feel about the ending to The Sopranos? So, it's just like, just with stereotypes, right? If you couldn't do that, imagine that you'd actually have to get to know every person that you met. And, we don't got time for that shit. So, yeah, kind of switching gears back to me being a nerd. So I was dating this girl last year, and it was fun, it was great. But then after like a few months, we ended up having to have a talk. And during that talk, I ended up getting kind of like coaxed into revealing the spreadsheet I made about the pros and cons of dating her. And she got pissed. She was like, you don't understand me and my emotions. Like, you're typical, breaking down a relationship into a spreadsheet. And I'm like, I do understand you. See, that's like number 1 on the graph. I just don't know what that means. But, she understood me. I was just like, this is just how I learn, right, with numbers. And with this algorithm, if you just made me breakfast, like not even that often, like once or twice a week, I think that would increase my attraction to you about 17%. You have a great personality, that's making me like 12% attracted to you. But if you worked out like 1 or 2 times a week, your body would look amazing. I think that would make me like 73% attracted to you. And then she was like, oh, wait, add up the numbers, that's like 100%. Does that mean you're in love? I'm like, well, you forgot about 30% of the time that you drain all the energy out of me, complaining about your mom, and making me watch Love Island. But yeah, that one was never going to work out because she had cats. But yeah, maybe it's just me. But sometimes I feel like girls can be a little hard to understand. Like this one girl, she told me, it's not me, it's not you, it's me. You deserve better. And I was like, well, I really like you. I've known you for like 10 years. I like everything about you. She was like, well, I don't think you really know me that well. And, I have this a toe fungus, a secret I haven't told you about before. And I was like, well, that's okay, because I actually, like 3 months ago, went to the podiatrist, and I was diagnosed with arthritis in my feet. So, I think this would be a perfect match. When I went to the doctor, he's like, yeah, you basically have the toe of a 65-year-old man. So I was trying to tell her, I was like, now with our toe issues, we could link up, and we could cut when we go to the amusement park, we can get to cut the front of the line. Or, when we go to breakfast, it really opens up the menu to all these possibilities. And she was just like, I'm not going to go to Denny's with you and eat oatmeal. So, but I'll never forget this other time a girl told me, I don't think I'm in a place in my life where I know where I want to be right now. And I was just like, I'm not sure where you're at, but if you're hungry, I'm in the kitchen. I'm not really sure what that means. But, yeah, the reason I took this class is, I started this like 6 weeks ago, and great experience, is the same reason a man does anything, to get women. So every guy could be in something different, right? Like some guys just want to get like a lot of women. Some guys want to find one amazing woman and keep her, and then some guys might be even trying to get away from women. But for me, I was like, you know what? If I take this class, it will help me, articulate and express myself better, so I can be cooler and a little bit less dorky. And then I ended up talking about how much of a nerd I was for the last 5 minutes. That is all. Thank you very much.